Assalamualaikum. This is the report of Group 8, Architecture Design. Objectives: describe the fundamental components of an information system. Describe servers, base, client base, and client servers. Architecture: describe newer architectural options such as cloud computing. Explain how operational, performance, security, cultural, and political requirements affect the architecture design. Create an architectural design. Create hardware and software and applications. Introduction. Modern information systems are typically distributed across multiple computers, enabling components to operate in different environments, such as web browser interacting with server over the internet or local application connecting to the internal database. A key part of the system design is architecture design, which determines how hardware, software, and platforms are allocated and integrated. Due to incomplicity, architecture design often involve experienced system architects who use non-functional requirements such as performance and security from analysis based to guide decision. This chapter discusses major architectural model with a focus on the client-server architecture along with other models like client-based and server-based. It also explores emerging technology like cloud computing and virtualization. Ultimately, it explains how architecture design leads to detailed hardware and software specification essential for system development and deployment. Elements of an architecture design. The objectives of architecture design is to determine how the software components of the information system will be assigned to the hardware devices of the system. In this section, we first discuss the major function of the software to understand how the software can be divided into different parts. Then we briefly discuss the major types of hardware into which the software can be placed. Although there are numerous ways in which the software components can be placed on the hardware components, the most common architecture is the client-server architecture, so we focus on it here. Next is architectural components. The major architectural components of any system are the software and the hardware. The major software components of the system being deployed have to be defined and then allocated to the various hardware components on which the system will operate. Each of these components can be combined in variety of different ways. Next is client-server architecture. Most organizations are adopting client-server architecture, which balance processing between client's device, handling presentation logic, and servers, managing data access and storage. Application logic may reside on the client server or both. Thin clients are popular due to lower overhead and easier maintenance, often using web browser for minimal logic while server handle most processing. This is the key of client-server architecture include scalability. Server can be added versatility to handle growing workloads. Number 2 is flexibility. Support the bars of operating system and device facilitated by malware. Number 3 is separation of concern. Presentation, application, and data logic can be independently modified. Number 4 is resilience. Server failure affected only specific applications and are easily resolved. However, these architectures are more complex, requiring separate software for client and servers, making updates and maintenance more challenging. Next is client-server tiers. There are many ways in which the application logic can be partitioned between the client and the server. The arrangement in Figure 8:1 is common figuration. And this is the 3 client-server tiers. Number 1 is two-tiered architecture. The client handles application and presentation logic while the server manages data storage and access. Number 2 is three-tiered architecture. The client manages presentation logic and application servers, handle application logic, and database server handles data access and storage. Number 3 is n-tiered architecture. Extend the three-tiered model by distributing application logic across multiple specialized servers, commonly used in web-based systems like e-commerce, for example. The client browser requests web page. The web server responds with HTML. Application servers handle business logic like shopping cart and pricing. Database servers manage data storage and access. This is the advantage. Scalability servers can be added or upgraded to balance load. Modularity components, application logic are reusable across application. And this is the advantage. This is disadvantage. Increased network load. More server communication generate higher traffic. Complexity. Program and testing are more challenging due to multiple interacting servers. Next is less common architecture. The client-server architecture has become the predominant architecture in use today. Two other architectures are less commonly found but still used in certain situations. Server-based architecture. Early computing systems used server-based architecture where a central server handled all tasks, data, storage, access, application, and presentation, while clients act as simple terminal for input and output. Advantage: centralized controls, simplifies software development and management. And this one is application and data reside on a single server. Client-based architecture. In client-based architecture, client computer handle presentation, application, and data access logic, while the server provides data storage. Advantage: simple setup, suitable for a small number of users, of limited data needs. Limitation: entire data sets must be transferred from the server to the client for processing, leading to network overload. And client limitation: network overload, large data transfers strain bandwidth. And client limitation: heavy processing requirements can exceed client capacity. This architecture works well for lightweight tasks but struggle with high data volume or multiple users. advances in architecture configuration. Virtualization. Virtualization is term in the computing domain refers to the creation of virtual device or resources, such as server or storage device. You may be familiar with this concept if you have partitioned your computer hard drive into more than one separate hard drive, while you only have one physical hard drive in your system. You treat each partitioned virtual drive as if it is a distinct physical hard drive. Today, this term has become a common buzzword as we heard about server virtualization, storage virtualization, network virtualization, and other variation of virtualization. Server virtualization involves partitioning and a physical server into smaller virtual. Server software is used to divide the physical server into multiple virtual environments called virtual or private servers. This capability overcomes the primary limitation of the older style server-based architecture that we are based on single large. Next is cloud computing. Cloud computing delivers computing resource, infrastructure, application, and services as need over the internet. It enables organizations to outcome IT infrastructure and service providing scalability, cost, efficiency, and flexibility. And this is the implementation model. Public clouds. Service delivered over the internet with the minimal user control. Next is private cloud. Dedicated infrastructure hosted internally or in a private data center. Next is hybrid cloud. Combine public and private cloud for flexibility advantage. Number one is scalability. Resource scale up or out down based on demand. Elasticity. Number two is pay per use. Cost aligned with resource usage. Number three is standardized appeals. Simplifies integration across servers, while cloud computing offers significant benefits such as a cost reduction and performance enhancement. It is still involving business should incorporate redundancy to mitigate risks like service failures. Next is comparing architecture option. Most systems are built to use the existing infrastructure in the organization. So often the current infrastructure restricts the choice of architecture. For example, if the system will be built for mainframe-centric organization, server-based architecture may be the best option. Other factors like cooperate, standard, existing license agreement, and product or vendor relationship also can mandate the project team. Architecture choice. Many organizations now have a variety of infrastructure in use, however, or are actively looking for pilot project to test new architecture and infrastructure, enabling the project team to select an architecture on basis of other important factors. Next is creating an architecture design. The architecture design specifies the all architecture and the placement of software and hardware that will be used. Architecture design is very complex process that is often left to experienced architecture designers and consultants, but we will give a sense of the process. Each of the computing architecture discusses earlier has its strengths and weaknesses. Most organizations are moving to client-server architecture for cost and scalability reasons. So in the event that there is no reason other than cost, client-server is generally used today. Creating architecture design begin with non-functional requirements. The first step is to refine the non-functional architecture. Requirements into more detailed requirements that are then employed to help select the architecture to be used. Server-based, client-based, or client-server, and the software components to be placed on each device. In a client-server architecture, one also has to decide whether to use a 2-tier, 3-tier, or N-tier architecture. Then the non-functional requirements and the architecture design are used to develop the hardware and software. Specification. There are four primary types of non-functional requirements that can be important in designing the architecture: operational requirements, performance requirements, security requirements, and cultural and political requirements. We describe each in turn and then explain how they may affect the architecture design.